Hey, what's going on, everyone? So this is news that broke, I think, a day or two ago. This is about Godzilla vs. Kong. It has been delayed, and I don't think any specific reason has been given why this movie has been delayed. But let's go over this article here from Cinema Blend. I'll go ahead and link it in the description below for those of you that want to go ahead and read it for yourselves. But let's go ahead and see what Cinema Blend has to say about it. For those of you who are looking forward to Godzilla and King Kong finally clashing in the MonsterVerse next spring, you'll have to cool your heels. Word has come in that Godzilla vs. Kong, the fourth entry in the Creature-Filled franchise, has been delayed to next November. Now, this is something I'm sure they're going to mention here. Right here in the very next paragraph, they mention it. Godzilla vs. Kong had previously been scheduled as a May 2020 release, first taking the May 29 slot and being moved to May 22nd. Then the highly anticipated crossover was shifted to March 13th, 2020. So they actually had pushed it up after it was originally scheduled for more of a summer kind of release, or entering into summer, with May and going into June there. I guess they decided a spring release would be better. So getting back to the article here, meaning it would drop less than a year after Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures have announced via the Hollywood Reporter that Godzilla vs. Kong has been moved to November 2020. There we go, November 20th. So a whole year away. Well, less than a year away now, because it's the 26th as of the recording of this video. So, but just about there, just about. Warner Brothers film chief Toby Emmerich acknowledged back in June that Godzilla vs. Kong being pushed back was a possibility in order to ensure it came out an A-plus movie. Sure enough, that's what happened, and now Godzilla vs. Kong finds itself as the biggest release that opening weekend, competing against the Kristen Stewart and Mackenzie Davis-led Happiest Season, Sylvester Stallone's superhero movie Samaritan, and an untitled Amblin project. No specific reason was provided for the Godzilla vs. Kong delay, though considering how Godzilla King of the Monsters performance at the box office, one couldn't fault Warner Brothers for allowing extra time to smooth out any wrinkles in the next MonsterVerse entry. King of the Monsters only made $385.9 million globally off of a budget of $170 to $200 million range, and was met with mixed reviews. There was a lot riding on Godzilla vs. Kong avoiding a similar fate, though obviously we have no read on its quality yet since a trailer has yet to drop. Nevertheless, with this movie serving as the first time Godzilla and King Kong are crossing paths in an American production, the future of the MonsterVerse will be dependent on how well it does. If Godzilla vs. Kong successfully, or at least performs better than Godzilla King of the Monsters did, that presumably bodes well for the MonsterVerse and paves the way for more Titan-filled tales. If it bombs, that could spell the end of the MonsterVerse, at least on the weekend before the Thanksgiving holiday. Godzilla vs. Kong has the privilege of being the biggest movie opening. Along with the eponymous monsters being set on a collision course, Godzilla vs. Kong, which wrapped filming in April, will be seeing the scientific organization Monarch embarking on a dangerous mission into an uncharted terrain to uncover the origins of the Titans, and a conspiracy being uncovered that threatens to eradicate this I guess they meant to say eradicate these gigantic creatures. It says this gigantic creatures. Millie Bobby Brown, Kyle Chandler, and Zhang Ziyi will reprise Madison Russell, Mark Russell, and the Chen twins, respectively. And the Godzilla vs. Kong cast includes Alexander Skarsgård, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Henry, Elza Gonzalez, Shun Ogiri. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Ogiri. I know my pronunciations are off. I'm sure somebody will correct them in the comment section below. Jessica Henwick, Julian Dennison, Damian Bashir, and Lance Reddick, I should say. Death Note's Adam Wingard directed, and Pirates of the Caribbean's Terry Rossio wrote the script. Okay, again, I don't know who any of the, outside of the ones that were in the previous movie, I don't know who any of these other actors and actresses are. I've never heard of any of them. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that pretty much sums up this article. Let me just go ahead and talk about it for a little bit here. So this is interesting, all the bouncing around that it's been doing. It was originally scheduled for a much earlier release, and now they've put it back, seemingly, and I think that's a pretty good reason why they would delay it, is to make sure that everything is smoothed out, that this is going to be a good movie, a good production. Because, of course, although I liked Godzilla King of the Monsters a lot better than I liked Godzilla 2014, it had its faults. It had its faults, and to me, there still hasn't been that Godzilla movie that is just like absolutely perfect. But it's definitely one thing that I've said that is, at least for Godzilla King of the Monsters, I would say it's more of a step in the right direction. So of course, when you got something like this, Godzilla versus Kong, not as many Kong movies as there's been Godzilla movies, but I'm sure that they just want to make sure they get it right because, of course, Kong has been around since 1933. I'm sure they want to do him justice in this movie, and of course, they want to make sure that Godzilla is done justice to this movie as well. And of course, there's speculation as to who is going to win this time around, right? In the 1960s movie, of course, it was King Kong that came out on top, and some people are thinking that maybe Godzilla will come out on top this time around. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, honestly. I think that it'll be... I still get the feeling, although the premise for the movie so far seems to be what they've laid out here, this whole conspiracy thing, and these monsters kind of get caught up in the middle of fighting each other, and then they'll probably have to fight the humans, right? They'll probably have to fight the armed forces because, they're doing so much damage fighting each other, wherever they're fighting each other, that, the humans are going to be like, oh my gosh, we got to stop them both before they eradicate humanity. So there'll probably be a point in time where they do something like that, but it could also be possible that one wins, one loses, then they have another fight, then the person that lost the first time fights, and they could be left at kind of like a draw at the very end of the movie where they're kind of 1-1 and there's no clear victor decided. Or they could do something. I always was of the opinion that maybe one of the things that they could do with this particular movie is they have them fight each other, right? One gets one over the other, right? One beats one up, that one retreats, regroups, comes back, round two comes around, that one, then the one that lost wins, and then as they're in the process of going into round three, then they have to like team up and maybe potentially fight another threat. Maybe King Ghidorah, because remember at the end of Godzilla, King of the Monsters, we got that whole scene at the very end. For those of you that haven't seen, I won't spoil it, but that kind of leads, or at least leads to speculation that, there might be either some type of Ghidorah revival, or maybe we could potentially even see a Mecha King Ghidorah show up as a weapon of the humans, because again, him being mechanized and all that, maybe they'll be able to control him. I don't know, or maybe if they're able to regenerate him somehow, they might be able to do something where they program him to use him as a weapon to kind of fight both of these two, and these two have to fight him together. Who knows? Speculation, of course, is going to run rampant, and there's going to be all sorts of theories regarding what this movie will actually have in it, but we'll know a little bit clearer once there's actually a trailer that's dropped for this movie. So, and that's something I'm looking forward to. And I'm wondering if they'll do that early this year, since they're not going to release it in March 2020, how they had originally anticipated to do. Maybe they'll go ahead and drop a trailer around that time, or maybe sometime before May, to show us what we can expect next year. So that'll be interesting. But what do y'all think of this? Are you happy that they're taking more time to ensure that this will be a great movie? Were you really hoping to see it a lot sooner? Who do you think is going to win? Is it going to be Godzilla? Is it going to be Kong? Is it going to be a draw? Is it going to be King Ghidorah that ends up coming out on top, or a Mecha King Ghidorah? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, until next time, y'all, you know how it goes. The hunt continues. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, share, and comment below.